תודה עמוס. אני רוצה להזמין את המגיבים, את השגריר ז'אן דוד לויט, את הפרופסור ויטלי נאומקין, את פרופסור דוד מנשרי ואת החבר כנסת צחי הנגבי. בבקשה. יש לנו שעה לפאנל הזה. כל מגיב לפי הסדר שהקראתי ידבר בערך 10 דקות. לאחר מכן נפתח למספר שאלות מצומצם, תגובות אחרונות, ובסוף עמוס ידלין יסכם. אני אציג בקצרה רק את 4 המגיבים. השגריר ז'אן דוד לויט היה יועץ לשני נשיאים בצרפת, לז'אק שיראק וניקולה סרקוזי. פרופסור נאומקין הוא מנהל המכון הרוסי ללימודי המזרח התיכון וחבר באקדמיה הרוסית למדעים. פרופסור דוד מנשרי נשיא המרכז האקדמי למשפט ולעסקים, וכמובן פרופסור אמריטוס באוניברסיטת תל אביב, מאוד מאוד מוכר לקהל הישראלי כמובן, והחבר כנסת צחי הנגבי מטעם סיעת הליכוד ישראל ביתנו. אז השגריר לויט, בבקשה.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to participate in this session. And I'll start by expressing my admiration for the presentation that General Amos Yadlin just made. I agree 100% with what he said. I'd like simply to add one actor to the 3 he mentioned, that is Iran, Israel, and the United States. The 4th actor, in my view, should be taken into account. The name is the international community. We live in a globalized world for 30 years now, since the collapse of the Soviet Union and the opening up of China. And today, in this globalized world, it seems that there is no more a pilot in the plane. As it was said, in a way, the US are a bit tired to be the pilot. After 2 frustrating wars, in Iraq and then in Afghanistan, they are getting out. We know from experience in Libya that the new mood in America is helping from behind. And that is our experience today in Mali, where we have 4,000 troops deployed fighting Al-Qaeda. But at the same time, the other actors don't want to be involved. The Europeans are deeply involved in their own difficulties with the euro. And the new emerging giants, China, India, Brazil, well, they want more rights in the international institutions, but no more responsibilities, with the exception of their own region where they want to act as a dominant power. We saw it with Syria, with 3 vetoes in the Security Council. Now, I think that it is very important that together we build a political order for the 21st century. And I think this is possible precisely about Iran. For more than 10 years, we've been negotiating in the format of the P5+1, that is, the 5 permanent members of the Security Council and Germany. I think we are deeply united on the substance, that is, we all agree that we don't want to see Iran with the nuclear device, with the bomb. If we are united in the negotiation, we should go down the road to the end. That is, as Amos said, if at the end of this year it is obvious that Iran wants to get the bomb, then the P5+1 should remain united. Is it mission impossible? I don't think so. Remember the first Gulf War in 1991. President Bush father succeeded in building a coalition of the willing with the participation of Arab states. I do think that if we were close to the situation that Amos described, that is near breakout, then President Obama should speak with the free Europeans, no difficulties. We all agree. And I think that France and the UK would be ready to participate in military action. For Germany, question mark. But don't exclude it, because Israel is a very, very special case for Germans. So what is left is China and Russia. Well, for the Chinese, the worst scenario is either the situation where you have the bomb and then a very messy situation, acts of terrorism and so on, or the Israeli scenario where you have the Israeli taking action. Because then you would have a reaction by the international, the Muslim community supporting the Iranian leadership, and the Iranian leadership would be reinforced, and then you would have proliferation in the whole Middle East with Saudi Arabia buying weapons in Pakistan, with Turkey and Egypt following. All this is a nightmare scenario. And so the only option left is a military action by the US, because only the US has the capacity to really destroy the nuclear capabilities of Iran. But we see and we understand that President Obama has a kind of split mind about this question. On one hand, he is concluding two frustrating wars. So to take action, military action, even if it's not a war, I agree with you, Amos, but strikes, surgical strikes, well, it's nonetheless a very risky move. But at the same time, and that's the other side of the equation, his legacy, well, if his legacy is a nuclear Iran with proliferation in the whole Middle East and the end of the non-proliferation treaty, that is not really a good legacy. And so my view is that to get out of this bad equation, President Obama should do his best to convince the Chinese and the Russians to participate in military threat, not action, but the threat of military action. The Chinese have a genuine interest in that. Why? Because if you have a messy scenario, it means that oil price will go up to $200 or so. It means that Hormuz Straits could be closed. It's a disaster for a country which is importing its oil, 70% of its oil from the Hormuz Straits and so on. Then you have Russia. Of course, you may say, and I'm speaking under the control of Vitaly here, it's good for Russia to have oil at $200. Yes, but it's very bad to have nuclear Iran next door on the other side of the Caspian Sea, close to the Muslim population of the Caucasus in Russia. So all this leads me to the conclusion that there is a real possibility to be together at the key moment, that is when a last message must be sent to Tehran. If this message is the message coming from a united P5+1, the 5 permanent members of the Security Council and Germany, to say, look, if you don't sign by the end of this week the good deal that is on the table, then together we will take military action. Together. And then, if we do so, believe me, the Iranian will think twice before refusing. Because it makes a sea difference, a change, if it is an Israeli action, or even an action by the US alone, or the 5 permanent members together with Germany, threatening to bomb together Iran. And if this threat is articulated by the 5+1, then I think that, like Khomeini, when he said, I'm swallowing the poisonous pill or drink to get peace, well, I think Khamenei will follow the example, and there will be no need for military action because they will not resist this threat. Thank you very much.